Hi, I'm just going to play a short clip from Valuetainment about the requirement for masks at Costco. Apparently, this Costco Kevin had some kind of a confrontation, and to me, there are plenty of doctors, plenty of sources that will inform you that masks are not good for you, that they don't really protect you from coronavirus, and they may actually do you physical harm. I believe these businesses and governments that require you to wear a mask could risk some exposure to a lawsuit from someone who passes out from wearing a mask, or just the mere psychological damage that can be done to people, especially children, coming out that don't really know too much that's going on. It's really a horrifying sight. And adults possibly with some, marginal psychological disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, could completely have a meltdown from the visuals we see today. And I had an experience. I had to get a battery at Costco, and I went in, and the guy, it was just opening, and he said, "Well, you have to wear that mask." And I probably shouldn't have said it, but I did. I said, "These aren't good for you." But then I put it on, and he said, "Well, I don't want to get in a political debate." But the funny thing is, I paid for the battery. It was a Honda battery, not too large. And he indicated where it was on the shelf. And I'm 77 years old, frail. I'm not really frail, but I'm not stout either. And he pointed to it, and he said, "Well, it's over there. Help yourself." And so it was a little bit of a difficult thing to get it off the lip. I had to lift up on the battery, get it up over the lift, and I did it. And then I thought later that he had to be playing me, because I don't think Costco would want customers to be getting, especially elderly customers, lifting batteries up off a shelf. You could drop it, you could hurt yourself, you could cause a real mess. Well, I didn't mean to go off on all that. But here's this video.
The First Amendment doesn't have anything to do with corporates' decisions on what they want to do. Costco doesn't have to have you as a member if you refuse to wear their mask. So that's the one part that you got to know, that audience has to know, that you went in knowing Costco said you have to wear a mask, and you knew that in advance. So to Costco's defend.
Now listen to this guy's response. I believe it's because he's a member, he didn't think he would have to comply. But
defense, they can say, "We don't want you to wear a mask," and refuse business. To your defense, you can go out there and not wear a mask if you don't want to in public. And if the government decides to do something to you, they're crossing the line, but not.
Now, do you hear that? This guy believes if the government requires you to wear a mask, they're crossing the line. That's in his imagination, because the government in Los Angeles, in many places, the government has decided you must wear a mask, whether if in your opinion it's not good for you. Here in Santa Barbara, in fact, they said, well, you don't have to if you have a doctor's note. Now think about that. Here I am, a 77-year-old man. I have to go get a doctor. Of course, anybody knows you can find a doctor to sign anything for a fee, just about. Some doctors anyway, not all of them. But it's so insulting that you can't think for yourself. You can't watch any number. You can't, even if you don't, you should not be compelled to wear a mask, in my opinion. It's just, well, he said it's just crossing the line.
If a business decides, because those are two different things. And I think at this point of the game, you kind of have an idea about those two differences, yes?
Yes, and I absolutely do, and I already did as a small business owner, as a libertarian. I completely understand all of the ramifications behind what you just said, but I really want to get across the point that this wasn't an organic Costco policy. This was like kind of like government mandate by proxy, which created that Costco policy. And one of the biggest reasons why small businesses aren't allowed to be open in the first place is because they're not sure if those small businesses are going to be able to comply to these rules and regulations. And so that's why these big box stores are open, is because they know that they will follow those rules and regulations. And then I've got a big problem with small businesses not being open because it's crushing the American people. And
I
people say,
agree.
hey, why don't you go somewhere else then? And I say, hey, why don't they open somewhere else? Hey, Costco's a private business, you know? Hey, these other businesses are private businesses, and look at the government interfering and saying that you can't open your business. Now, I didn't take it to a mom and pop, right? I didn't just walk into a baker shop and say, hey, I'm not wearing your mask, John. I kind of took it to like the epicenter of the enforcement, if you will. And I'm always about like change starting from the grassroots. Like I can't write the CEO of Costco a letter and complain; it'll fall on deaf ears, or the governor. So sometimes you have to get in the face of the person that's already in your face, trying
I just want to say how much I agree with everything he just said, and I'll just let it go on.
to enforce what you don't think is right. So, in fairness, I would say I acknowledged his right to ask me to leave. I exercised my First Amendment. I gave him a piece of what I thought, but then I left. I didn't assault him. I didn't stay behind. I didn't call the cops.
I agree.
So,
I agree. I think all of that is fine. I think the statement was made that some people are very frustrated with having to wear a mask. I'm at my company right now. I'm not at my house. This is my office here. I got my employees out there, and we're coming back from 25% to 50%. I'm in a little bit of a more business-friendly state than you are, Colorado. I'm in Texas. I moved here from California 4 years ago for that exact reason, because they're more friendly here. But those are the choices that you have to make. And I have a question for you. So now that you're experiencing that in the state of Texas, in the state of Colorado, is that influencing you to consider leaving your state to another place?
that's such a great question. Yeah, I'm looking at Florida. I see what the governors are
Okay,
doing in the
I'm
blue
going to
states
stop
to
it. I
drag
just
down the
wanted to get the
economy,
highlights. You can
artificially
go over
raising
to
employment numbers. That is
valuetainment
an invite saying, hey,
and
we're
Costco
inviting you to
Kevin, I
leave.
think it is,
If you're not happy
if you
with
want to
this,
watch
you
the
got
whole
to go.
video. Thank
And
you.
man, there's a